Norma has a home at last. Photoplay, March 1923. Norma Talmadge, against the background of her own front door, looks happy. And why shouldn't she? For the door, hand-carved and studded with brass, is the entrance to a wonder house. The first home that she and her husband, Joseph Schenck, have ever owned. It is located in the heart of the most fashionable district in Los Angeles, and it is made of red brick and tan plaster. Stained glass windows add to the warmth of the color scheme, and, incidentally, to the old-world appearance of the dwelling place. The arrangement of trees and shrubbery and wee trimly cut hedges might be called formally informal. A typical California sun parlor, bright with cretonne, wicker, and grass rugs. The color scheme of green and blue is cool and tranquil. A vivid setting for Miss Talmadge's beauty, this drawing room. The walls are done in gray plaster, a dull stone color, against which are curtains of rich dark blue. The furniture in this unusual drawing room is upholstered in ruby red velvet, producing an almost spectacular effect. The rug is a rare old Persian, and worth a fortune. Probably the world's most exquisite bedroom, indirect lighting and everything. The walls are tinted in orchid and green, and the furniture is hand-painted in pale shades of orchid that exactly match the walls. The draperies are of orchid and green taffeta, and the rug is a delicate gray velvet. The carved teakwood furniture was imported from China by Miss Talmadge, so were the embroidered curtains and screens. Typically Chinese are the lighting fixtures and the bronze ornaments and the bits of old lacquer. A splendid dark red predominates, giving this dining room an unusual distinction that is both dignified and bizarre. Just a House to Live In. Photoplay, October 1923. Mr. and Mrs. Niblo and the Chow, who boast the age-old name of Buddha, on the velvet-smooth lawn in front of their Beverly Hills home. Typically Californian, of gray plaster with a red-tiled roof, and 3 acres of ground. A happy-looking home, certainly, and one that shelters happiness. The side porch, a favorite lounging place for everybody in the family, including year-old Miss Niblo, who is usually too busy to do much lounging. A comfy nook that whispers of a good book, and a drowsy summer afternoon with the heat of the sun quite shut away by the cheerful striped awnings. First of all, Enid Bennett's bedroom, for a boudoir is often the key to a personality. As English as the name she bears, with its figured wallpaper and chintz, its white enamel and pastel tints and dark polished floor. Charming and dainty, and above all, cheerful. There isn't anything architecturally or artistically correct about the place, says Fred Niblo. It's just to live in. Perhaps that is the answer to the delightful informality of this drawing room. Colorful it is, with shadings of gold, rose, and tan, and highly finished mahogany woodwork. The fish pond. Not the sort that they have at charity bazaars, a real one. Mr. Niblo wants to turn it into a swimming pool, but his wife doesn't want to deprive the fish of a home. You see her caught in the act of pleading for the fish. Let them stay, she says, with her maid Marion smile. Please. The Swimming Pools of Hollywood. Photoplay, October 1922. The Carter de Havens bathe in tropical luxury, palms and weeping willows and all that sort of thing. There are 4 of them, including the 2 children, look surprisingly unaesthetic, but we wouldn't be surprised to learn that a Hawaiian orchestra was strumming away, concealed somewhere in the background. Norma Talmadge's pool, on the other hand, is almost puritanical in its chaste dignity. Edged with white it is, and very, very simple in design. Harold Lloyd's swimming pool, like his every comedy, is a pleasant jumble of slides and apparatus, of life preservers and pretty girls. It will be noticed that Harold takes his little pleasures straight, and without the aid of his famous specs. Looks like a canal, doesn't it? But it's just cut on the bias to make the picture seem more difficult. In reality, it is the one and only pool on the Beverly Hills estate of Doug and Mary. The two film favorites trying to cheer up a poor fish, and not succeeding very well. Hearthstones and Heartbreaks. Photoplay, April 1927. Picture of a young man at the mercy of contractors, painters, and plumbers, and only a lot of blueprints between him and hopeless insanity, just ready to play Hamlet. A living room like this is worth fighting for, but oh, the torture back of that peaceful fireplace, and oh, the conflict over the bland tone of those walls. A bathtub in which a 6-footer may bathe in comfort. A soap dish placed for convenience, but at what a price. This bit of plumbing nearly cost Rod his job. Rod wanted a French chateau with 10 rooms. He got a Georgian colonial with 16, but he wouldn't sell it for $1 million, nor would he ever build another. A honeymoon home built by the wages of evil. Photoplay, June 1925. As a carpenter, Wallace is a good actor, but as a wife, Mrs. Beery is all she should be, a sympathetic nurse. What could be more convenient for the wife of a movie fighter? The home life of our leading menace is singularly serene. The new Mrs. Beery, formerly Rita Gilman, finds that, as husbands, villains are the most docile of men. Their house is one of the newest showplaces out in Hollywood. Author. Photoplay, October 1921. The Rupert Hughes home in Hollywood, representative of the palaces the California film folks live in. The author occasionally has his innings, sometimes after the first act on the first night of his new play, sometimes when the royalties roll in on his bestseller, sometimes in the movies. Rupert Hughes, an eminent author who lives up to his advertising, is writing and directing his own stories for the screen, and he lives in Hollywood, in a house that looks like one of his own sets. Just a Little Nest in the Golden West. Photoplay, March 1925. Meet the happy bridal couple, Mr. Kenneth Harlan and Marie Prevost, on the steps of their home. The beautiful Hollywood home where the honeymooners dwell when they are not busy making pictures at the studio. Off for the studio with Sinner, the police dog, and Rover, who seems slighted about something. Some fiddle Ken has. It looks like a cross between a banjo and a cello. Both love barbershop harmony.